do we rank our brokers, or but I think it's something that's coming. I certainly haven't found. The question has come up before, and so far there doesn't appear to be anyone out there ranking brokers. There's plenty of people ranking companies, but not the brokers yet. A few brokers have an environmental impact statement, but so far, there's no sort of equal way of ranking brokers.
And do you think
it will happen?
Sorry, go ahead.
It will happen from the trading point of view.
Thank you. Do you think ESG is likely to widen market participation, or rather shift flows from one area into ESG?
Are you talking about in terms of brokers will win business on the back of how strong their ESG offering is?
I guess wider market participation in ESG investing. So, for example,
yeah. Yes. It's a growth area. I mean, we're in the process of hiring our head of ESG to oversee the whole project. I mean, we've had an ESG committee 2-3 years now. But yes, it's a huge growth area, and it's when we're pitching, I think ESG is going to become as important as actual performance. For some clients, it already is. So yeah, it's a growth area. We're launching new funds which will have a ESG slant to them, or renewable energy, that kind of thing. I think big growth area.
Thank you. Moving on to regulatory issues here. There's a big MiFID II review taking place this July at EU and also UK level. What issues would you like to see addressed with MiFID II?
Well, consolidated tape would be good for one.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, really for me, on a day-to-day basis. Other issues, I was just saying, this popped into my head, popped straight out again. What was it? No, completely gone. That's the main regulatory issue for me. I think, it's the tape at the moment is a complete mess. That's what I'd like to see fixed.
And would you say in the last 3.5 years or so since MiFID II has been in force, has it impacted your ability to generate alpha?
No, it hasn't. I think, again, from the trading point of view, the sell side handled all the changes in terms of, views and order routing. As a company, obviously, it costs a lot of money. It costs both the buy side and sell side a lot of money, a lot of paperwork, a lot of new systems. Most of which was probably unnecessary. Again, typical sort of EU. Let's pile on the paperwork and justify our existence. So as a whole, MiFID II has had some benefits. I think the unbundling of research was one of those, which was obviously driven by the FCA. Did we really need a sort of huge change in how, on what venues business was being executed on? No, not really. Do we need a push, back to trading on primary exchanges? No, we don't. We should see ESMA again is something ESMA's pushing for. I think we're just going to see it's going to lead to more volatility, harder to trade anonymously, more cost. Again, as I said earlier, there's ESMA driving things forward for political reasons rather than actual common sense reasons. So, I don't really expect a great deal. Any useful changes.
Thank you. And just going back to the consolidated tape for a little bit, there are quite high-level talks at the moment to create this consolidated tape of data. In an ideal world, what would you like to see in this? Because I know they're talking about pre-trade, post-trade equities, maybe expediting fixed income. Ideally, what would you like to see in it?
I'd just like to see a live consolidated tape.
Okay.
All in one place, clear, so it's absolutely clear where, trades are taking place, or, what they are, on market, off market, just so, the data is actually, you can really use the data properly.
Mm-hmm. And what would the likely cost implications be for your firm of the consolidated tape? Do you think having all the data in one place is likely?
It's probably more cost.
More, okay.
I mean, to be fair, Bloomberg's done a pretty good job in trying to, create consolidated tape with your EU ticker in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That has been a lifesaver. The cost of it, I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure they'll find a way to bump up the data costs. I'd be surprised if costs came down, put it that way. There's a cost to building it, so,
That's very true. And on dark trading, what do you think of the EU plans around changing the double volume cap thresholds, and is there likely to be much of an impact on your firm?
Was that so? I didn't miss the beginning of that. Was that with the EU capping?
The EU plans to change the double volume cap thresholds.
Yeah, lowering them, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yet again, politics, I think it's a joke. I think, this whole sort of, I don't know, they should have this sort of dark trading bad, lit trading good thing going on their heads, all the data points against that view. It's a bit like, when there was the talk, this is getting slightly off track here, talk about cutting market hours. Mm-hmm. You just can't, with the FCA, did a massive survey, and the general feedback from buyer and sell side was, we should cut trading hours by an hour to an hour and a half. When ESMA did the same, apparently, so no, we must keep market hours the same, despite data pointing towards the fact that shorter market hours will have no difference to liquidity and stuff. It's all politically driven. Mm-hmm. We almost felt that, the view in Europe was, because this was an Anglo-Saxon idea, we're never going to go with it. Mm-hmm. Because it came from London, you don't do one. Mm-hmm. All politics. Whole thing's bullshit. Is that language.
And on... sorry, please continue.
Sorry, you go.
Okay, I was just going to talk a little bit about systematic internalizers here and ask what's your experience been with these, and what channels are you using? Are you using traditional broker, electronic, or a mix of both?
I'm using a mix of both. I haven't got all ELPSIs turned on. I've only got a couple turned on. The ones who tend to hold positions for longer and maybe have ETF business on the back of it, which is generating natural business. To be honest, though, a lot of my stock universe is quite sort of low-end blue chip and more mid-cappy, where the SIs are doing a lot less business. But I think the ELP SIs tend to be trading the blue chip names. That's where they're doing their volumes. So SIs are a very, very small part of my day-to-day business. Less than 1% for the ELPs, maybe 2-3% for broker SIs of overall turnover. So it's small.
Thank you. And finally, on regulation, the regulators seem to be against periodic auctions. Do you think they should step in to do anything? And what do you think would happen if they crack down on the process?
Personally, no, they shouldn't step in. I think as long as periodic auctions. Brokers are using periodic auctions across internal business. That, that's in small part. It's a very small part of it, but actually periodic auctions are very